In this next video, we're going to talk about messaging best practices. And I thought there would probably be no better way to explain this than actually using some videos from Pinterest's own YouTube channel on the art of the pin, the art of making boards, and how to create pins that generate more clicks. So I'm going to show you 3 short videos here back to back that will hopefully give you some great ideas on the best practices for messaging on Pinterest.
Hi, I'm Kevin. At Pinterest, we found that the best performing pins have 3 things in common. They're beautiful, interesting, and actionable. In this video, I'll teach you how to make your pins look their best, write attention-grabbing descriptions, and help people turn pinning into doing. First, make your pins tall, not wide. Pinterest shows pins in columns, so tall pins look better. This is especially important on phones, which is where most people use Pinterest. Try using a 2:3 to 1:3.5 aspect ratio. Second, create detailed, thoughtful descriptions. When a pin catches someone's eye, they'll likely look at the description for more information. The more helpful details and keywords there are, the more likely your pin will resonate with people and show up in search results. So don't be afraid to make your descriptions a couple sentences long. In your description, you'll also want to tell people why your pin matters. If it's an easy recipe or a beautiful skirt, let them know. Positive sentiment goes a long way in showing people how a pin from your business can help them in their lives. Third, try to give pinners something to do. Remember, people use Pinterest as a tool to discover and do things. So if there's an action people can take, let them know in the description and make sure the pin links somewhere useful. For example, a product pin should go to the site where you can buy it. If it's a how-to pin, make it obvious that it'll help people do something. Try listing directions in the description, using keywords like how-to or linking to a tutorial. You can even use 3 or 4 images within one pin to show step-by-step instructions. Finally, keep in mind that while these tips may give you a sense for what successful pins look like, the most important thing is to figure out what content you should pin. For that, take a look at our Art of Making Boards video. And thanks for watching.
So this next video is the one he alluded to, the art of making boards.
Hi, I'm Kevin. In this video, I'll teach you about the art of making great Pinterest boards. You'll learn about how to use boards to create a discovery experience, appeal to your audience's interests, and showcase a variety of pins. Boards are a place where you can display your stuff, but they're also a compelling place for pinners to explore. Think about your boards like window displays or the inside of a store, where you can show off specific items as well as convey a certain feeling or personality. Sure, there are certain topics that are especially popular on Pinterest, like food or fashion. But don't just pin those things because they're popular. Pin the stuff that's right for your business and aligns with your customers' interests. Let's say you run a local sporting goods store. In your store, you'd want to help people who are interested in the great outdoors. And you'd want to be recognized for being knowledgeable about things like hiking and camping. If we shift that idea over to Pinterest, that means you don't only have to pin the stuff you sell, like tents and sleeping bags. You might also want to share pins about local hikes, camping tips, and inspirational photography. It's important to give this variety of content because while pinners do go to Pinterest to buy things, they also use Pinterest to discover, save, and do things that interest them. Here's another way of looking at it. Don't just show people your hiking boots. Show them what they can do with your hiking boots. Things like exploring, connecting with nature, and relieving stress. Then they'll want to go buy boots so they can get out and go hiking. Remember, you're more than the stuff you're selling. You're a business with unique values and a certain look and feel. So make sure your boards are cohesive and interesting, just like you. Thanks for watching.
Finally, this last video talks a little bit about how to make pins that increase clicks, that create a little bit more engagement.
Hi, I'm Kevin from the Creative Strategy team. In this video, I'll talk to you about how to use Pinterest to increase clicks to your website. Before we dive in, here's a little refresher on how Pinterest works. Pinners take a journey when they use Pinterest. First, they discover an idea for something they want to do, whether it's dinner recipes, family vacations, even pet adoptions. Next, they consider different options. And then finally, they eventually do it. And while pins should always be helpful, beautiful, and actionable, there are certain things you can do to cater your pins to the right people at the right time. If your goal is to increase clicks, then you'll want to focus on the action part of that pinner journey we talked about. A pin that aims to drive clicks should give pinners a reason to take an action. For example, this pin points to a website that'll help people choose exactly the right dog breed for them. Calls to action and a promise of more information on the website help drive clicks. So let's drill down into this a little bit further. Before they get clicked, pins need to get noticed, and taller pins take up more space in the feed. They also fit more naturally into Pinterest vertical design. Make your pins with a vertical image aspect ratio of 2:3 to 1:2.8 and a minimum width of 600 pixels. When you're thinking about the content of the image, try using pictures of multiple products. These drive clicks because they can speak to different tastes. For example, showing multiple colors of a handbag can help people see that there are a variety of options available, which then leads them to explore your website. Featuring your product while it's being used can also help drive more clicks. You can also use text on top of your image, a text overlay. Consider including information that will help that close to deciding pinner see that your product or business is a fit. As for the text in your description, use words that are inspirational and useful. Mention the most compelling aspects of the pin and hint that there's more to find if they click through to your site. And of course, remember to use correct capitalization and punctuation. Next, a call to action can be just what a pinner needs to make a decision and act on an idea. Include stronger calls to action, like buy now, in your pin's descriptions, and softer ones like explore summer looks in text overlays on top of your image. Finally, remember that your brand's credibility can make somebody more inclined to visit your website, so find a way to incorporate your brand into the pin. Often the best way to do this is by including your product or packaging in the photo itself. Sometimes, though, that isn't doable, and a tasteful logo watermark works just fine too. Remember to use these tips as suggestions, not necessarily as a checklist. You may not want to use every tactic all the time, but we hope this video helps you think through when you should. To learn more about building awareness and driving engagement, be sure to check out our other videos in the series too.
So as they talked about in a lot of those videos, some of the key characteristics of images that work well are that they're clear, they're high resolution, they're very visually appealing and professionally, or they look professionally photographed, whether they are or not. Lighter images tend to be repinned 20 times more than darker images. They're very simple images. As you can see from this one here, there's not a lot of clutter in the image. Images without faces actually get 23% more repins. And that may seem counterintuitive because we've talked about lifestyle photos of showing people using your product. But really what people discover, and you'll see this a lot on greeting cards as well, is that if you see somebody's face, then you automatically think, oh, that doesn't look like me, or that doesn't look like the person I'm, want to give this card to, or whatever. But if you just show their body and not their face, then you can project yourself onto that image a lot easier. So that's why you might see a lot of shots like this one with a body but not a face captured in the image. So some creative strategies, you can read more about this on the Pinterest website, but and I've put the links down here under these photos, but you could actually look at specific creative strategies for some of the top performing categories on Pinterest. So for example, if you're a store that sells things related to home or home decor, things like design tips, furniture renovations, and do-it-yourselfs, you can see some of the best practices and creative strategies on Pinterest for that. Another strong category is food and drink, anything like recipes, party ideas, easy to make meals, step-by-step instructions, cooking instructions. Those can be found a lot on Pinterest as well. And you can see some creative strategies if your brand fits into that category. And two other big categories are style, so outfit inspiration, style trends, accessories, and then hair and beauty, so expert tips on personal hair care, fragrances, makeup, things like that. You can find some helpful hints for promoting your product if you fit into one of these categories on Pinterest as well. And I've put the web links under those images. In our next video, we'll talk about advertising on Pinterest.